I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. Hey, it's Kate from Apothecary, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to another episode of Bibliotherapy Sunday. Today's episode is dedicated to all of the moms out there. So first and foremost, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of our moms watching this, whether you're a mom of human kids, furry kids, you're adopted mom, you're a stepmom, you're a single mom. All the moms out there, if you consider yourself a mom, Happy Mother's Day. So I'm going to do this video in 3 parts. First, I'm going to have some tips for mothers who want to read more. Then I'm going to talk about some of the most memorable mothers that I've come across in my past year of reading. And then I have a couple bibliotherapy recommendations for you all. So first, my tips. These are tips for mothers who want to get more reading in their life. They realize motherhood is overwhelming their reading and they're not getting as much reading in. And I have this kind of in themes of ages of kids. So first, for our newborn or infant mothers, our brand new moms, audiobooks are going to be your best friend. As you've probably already discovered, while you're holding a baby, especially trying to feed them or entertain them or whatnot, you don't have hands to hold a book or even an ebook reader. So audiobooks are going to be your best friend in this next couple years. Once your kid's up to the toddler age where they're walking around, they're able to sit and listen to maybe you talk, try reading to them and creating family reading times at an early age. They will remember this as they get older, and they will hopefully appreciate reading more as they get older. Speaking of getting older, let's talk about their teenage years. Once they're into the YA stage, the teenage stage, they start to get a bit more rebellious. Try having family reading time at least once a week. If your family is a bunch of readers, you can have it more than that, obviously, but at least once a week, set a designated time, whether it's 1 hour or 2 hours, where everyone in the family is reading, and then talk about what you're reading. If you talk about what you're reading, your kids will likely learn to appreciate reading more often and see that it is a good thing to do, it's fun to do, and it's not just something that has to be done in school. If your kids refuse to read during family reading time, give them more chores to do, obviously. You know, if they're busy doing chores, that leaves time for you to be reading. That last one was kind of a joke, but you know what I mean. So those are some of my tips. I'm not a mom, but those are things that I've learned with being friends with moms, observing the moms in my life, and how they could incorporate reading more in their lives. Now let's talk about some of the most memorable moms that I've come across in this past year of reading. If you are familiar with fantasy, which is what I've been reading a lot the past 2 years, you will know that good parents are very hard to find in fantasy books. And just in good books in general, there is not a lot of good parenting, and especially good moms in these books. But I did find a few in my past years of reading, so I'm going to talk about them and what books they're from and why I thought they made good moms. Some of these I have their names for. Some of them, sadly, I do not remember their names, but people watching this, if you've read these books and you know these character names, let me know in the comments below so I can incorporate them in maybe future videos. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, I got 5 moms here. Going back to the Kingdom Keeper series, this was the book series about the kids that were Disney hosts and holograms, and they went on all these adventures and fought the Disney characters and whatnot. One of our parents in here, Mrs. Whitman, she's Finn's mom. Finn was one of our main characters. He's one of the kids. He's the leader of the kids, the Kingdom Keepers. She was a great mom because She was smart on her own right. She was a rocket scientist for NASA, and she left that job to take care of her kids. She's protective of her kids, yet she's also supportive of her kids. When Finn brought her this idea, she said, okay, how can I help you? Not, you're crazy, don't do that, go work on your school or whatever, just be a kid. She thought, okay, this is different, this is unique, I don't even know if this is real, but how can I help my son? Next up we have, of course, Moomin Mama from the Moomin Trawl. This is a fictional character, fictional creature. She is the mom of a very mischievous little Moomin, and her husband is kind of aloof. He goes off on his adventures of his own, and Moomin Mama has to kind of hold the fort down. And she's always ready for an adventure, she's always ready for shenanigans, and she's always got whatever is needed in her pocketbook. Okay, here's one where I couldn't remember the character's name, and I couldn't find it in a very quick search. I didn't look in depth. I didn't even go back to the book, because then I would get sucked into that book again, and I needed to get this video done. But the main character, Chris, from Voice of War by Zach Argyle, his wife is a mom, and she's a great mom because she does whatever it takes to protect their kids. Even if she doesn't agree with it, she doesn't want to, she'll do it because she knows that's what's best for her family and her kid. And so she, I thought, was a fantastic mother. Of course, we have Sybil from The City Watch by Terry Pratchett. Sybil is not only a mother of dragons, but also further in the series, spoilers, so anyone who does not want to be spoiled for City Watch, come back in about, I will give the thumbs up when you can come back. So as you get further in the City Watch series, Sybil becomes also a mother to little Sam, young Sam. So her and Sam Vimes, yes, they get married at the end of Guards, and then she becomes pregnant in the next book, and then we get her as a mother. And of course, Sybil is just one of the best characters, in my opinion, in the City Watch books, and she is just a fantastic mom. So our last memorable mom from my past year of reading is another character who I couldn't remember their name, but this is from The Bleeding Stone by Joseph John Lee, and if you haven't read that book yet, you really should, because it's a fantastic historical fantasy book about essentially the Native American tribes at the time of the founding of America when Christopher Columbus comes over, and it kind of tells their side of the story in this fantastical, magical world. So the mom from that book that I have on this list is our main character, Sen's mother. Of course, I said I don't remember her name, but she was incredibly strong, both physically, mentally, emotionally. She tried to teach her kids the right way to do things, the right way to be, and without giving away spoilers, there was a certain incident that happened in this book that she had to essentially take over the tribe as the chief, and she did, in my opinion, a fantastic job as a woman chief, which was unusual at that time. So those are some of the most memorable moms that I've met in my past year of reading. Let me know in the comments below, who are the most memorable moms that you've met in your reading in the past year, or who are your favorite moms in literature and books you've come across. Now I'm going to slide into the bibliotherapy part of this video. These are recommendations from the novel Cure, which is, of course, the book, like the encyclopedia of bibliotherapy recommendations. I will link that in the description below, as well as all of the books that I've talked about today. So the novel Cure's recommendations include Our Spoons Came from Morworth by Barbara Comins. This is about being overwhelmed by motherhood and kind of what not to do when you feel overwhelmed. Our next book is I Don't Know How She Does It by Allison Pearson, and this is the first book in this series, and this is about a working mom and the dilemmas and struggles that she has, and it's supposed to be super funny and a comedy and just a great escape for those working moms that are trying to do it all on their own. And then the last recommendation that I have today is The Birth of Love by Joanna Kavena. And this is a book that has weaving timelines together of different births and different women going through the birthing process. It is fiction, so don't worry about that. But it is a great book for new moms coming in to see what has happened through the years in birthing, but also just those moms that feel overwhelmed, like they're not doing enough, just to remind them exactly, the miracle that they went through with childbirth. So I hope this video helps all the moms out there feel better about themselves and the amazing jobs that they're doing. I hope you all have a fantastic Mother's Day and a great end to the weekend. The next Bibliotherapy Sunday, I think, might be about being a single parent, because that kind of bridges the gap between Mother's Day today and Father's Day next month, and single parents are so important and not celebrated enough. So that's it for now. Tune in next time for another episode of Bibliotherapy Sunday. Keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.